Today we start the wonderful world of kind of longer division. Okay, it's not just going to be simple, math facts that it's, 72 divided by 8 is 9, or whatever. Okay, today you're doing longer process division. And we talked about this word before. We're going to talk about the division algorithm. And if you remember, you look back in your notes, you remember the algorithm was the way that you do division, and I'm just going to write it down for you. Okay, here are the steps that you follow and keep repeating when you do division. You first of all divide, then you multiply, and then you subtract. And I'm sure you've done this before, and then you bring down. And this is the pattern that you keep repeating until you have nothing left to bring down. This is what we call, this is the way you do those long division problems. Okay? You follow these steps and you keep repeating those steps till you're all done. Now, of course, I will help you out and we'll do a couple and we'll talk about this and we'll just have a good old time about this. Here is an example. 5 into 645. And I will reiterate, boys and girls, that if you don't know your basic math facts, this is going to be a huge, huge struggle for you because it's just too easy to get them wrong. And you've done this before, right? Did it last year, unfortunately, perfect. So here's how it works. First thing we do is we start with our actual division, and we say, okay, start with this number here. Can you divide 5 into 6? Does 5 go into 6? It sure does. Aaron, how many times will 5 go into 6? 1. That's your division. I divided 5 into 6 one time. That's my division. I then multiply the 1 times the 5 and put it down here. Then I subtract. 5 from 6 is 1. And we talked about this before. You can never have a number down here after you subtract that's bigger than this number. If it is, you did not divide right. So I could never subtract and get a 6. It just doesn't work because that means 5 will go together. And then, and I need to see this, children, once you get to this subtracting thing, your next step is to bring down. And I want to see you put an arrow there as you bring that number down. Then, once you get to that point, the whole cycle starts all over again. But you don't use the 4, you use the number that you ended up with when you subtract. How many times will 5 go into 14, Brian?
2.
5 times 2 is, oops, uh-oh, it's not. 2. 2 times 5, my multiplication thing is 10. I then subtract. And then I bring down. And the whole thing starts all over again. How many times does 5 go into 45, Madison? 5 times 9 times. 5 times 9 is 45. I subtract. Okay, and when you have nothing left to bring down, you know that's because you have an arrow down that you are done. This is either your remainder, which I don't know if we talked about, or it goes into evenly, and there is the answer, 129. Correct? You did this all last year. I'm sorry, whatever. How about 7 into 365? 7 into 365. And we'll do this one. Please be careful with this. I'd kind of like to see this. When you do the division part here, since 7 is bigger than 3, 7 doesn't go into 3, so you don't start there. There's not going to be a number above the 3 because 7 doesn't go into it. Then you start with 36. How many times does 7 go into 36? Yeah.
5.
What is 7 times 5?
35.
35. Subtract. You get 1. Bring down. Here. How many times will 7 go into 15? Lauren?
2.
2 times, which is 14. What are the chances I can move this? Good chance. So I get 2 times 7 is 14. Now I don't have anything to bring down. I'm done with my subdivision part of it. I have this leftover 1, and that's where a remainder of 1 would come up here because it's 52 remainder of 1. And then we must do one that involves some money here. What about 4 into $5.56? Anybody know what the first thing I should do if I'm taking 4 and $5.56? Sophia? Not yet. If you're talking about money, probably the first thing you should do, because your answer is going to be in money, is you should go straight up where this decimal is and put a decimal there, because you need to make sure your answer is going to also be in dollars and cents. Now you do your division. How many times will 4 go into 5? Once. I subtract. I bring down. How many times will 4 into 15? 3 times, which is 12. I subtract. I bring down. 4 goes into 36, and 9 times. And then that's all the numbers you have left to bring down. Make sure you write that in dollars and cents. I would say, children, if it's a dollar and money problem, if you get a remainder, you probably did the problem wrong, because I'm pretty sure the book won't give you a money problem that doesn't work out evenly. Because does anybody know what remainder 3 cents is? If I gave you $1.29, remainder 3 cents, how much money would I actually give you? Nobody knows, because there's no such thing as a remainder 3 of a cent. Okay, so this would be your answer. One more, I want you to do it, see if we all get the same answer here. How about 3 into $4.65? 3 into $4.65. Do that one right there, where you're at, and we'll see if we can't make some heads or tails out of this. Follow the simple rules. Wow, if you put the dollars and cents in your answers. If you get a remainder of something, you probably went to lie somewhere, because we will not get remainders in the set. So this should work out evenly. This should work out evenly. And this is how it should look. Most of you got this. Again, I would put this decimal right above here. 3 went into 4 one time, correct? Multiply, you get 3, subtract, you bring down, 3 goes into 16. No, 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, bring down your last 5, and 3 goes into 15, same thing. 5 times. So $1.55.